Welcome to This Mom Life Ain't Easy, where we support moms. Today we're talking about regulation and parenting. I think this is the secret sauce. We don't call it losing for nothing. When the kids don't listen the first 3 times and you lose it and start yelling that 4th time, it isn't because your kids listen when you start yelling. We tell ourselves that their actions made us need to yell. We justify it to ourselves. But later, a lot of us will torture ourselves for yelling yet again. The reality is that with each of the 3 times when the kids didn't listen, your nervous system was slowly moving further and further into fight or flight zone. And your ability to regulate your emotions was getting more and more out of control. Brain science tells us, and I'm a biologist, so I'm a super science nerd. It is hard to connect to the part of our brain that is logical when our sympathetic nervous system, that's that fight or flight response, is activated. This means that we can get very wound up and spiraling out in our emotions. If we think of our ability to regulate like a pot of water on a stove, my pattern would be that it might start with a light simmer at the beginning. I might already be tired, distracted, hungry, worried, or name the million other options that might set me up to be easily agitated. With each request that goes ignored, it's like someone turning up the burner under the pot 1 notch at a time. You might even be feeding it with an internal dialogue that sounds a little like some of the things I would say to myself. I'm so sick of being ignored. Or they don't appreciate anything I do for them. Or they are so entitled. That's what I hear a lot in groups. And one of my favorites, I will not be disrespected this way. As you are justifying to yourself why you should be upset, you're intensifying your anger, and you go from a simmer to a hard boil until you start screaming at the top of your lungs and the pot boils over completely. And it is not pretty. If you can stop before your pot boils over, you may change the trajectory of the whole thing, or at least change how you feel about it later in your day. You can be in the driver's seat and still have the regulation in your nervous system, and therefore your emotions, to think logically instead of reactively. If you don't catch yourself, it is okay. You focus on discussions, apologizing, and repairing. Don't know what that looks like? Check out the link in my profile for steps to an authentic apology and repair process. You can subscribe, and that's coming up in my newsletter as well. If you're feeling out of control, we need to get some nervous system regulation in place and figure out how to do that. Those emotions like fear, sadness, and anger have triggered your sympathetic nervous system. It is probably ready to rumble in terms of fight or flight. The thing is that your nervous system is just trying to protect you. At the core, the issue is that your brain thinks you are not safe. So we'll need to do a little figuring out how to create safety in the face of these uncomfortable emotions. I don't like to feel anger, sadness, fear, so that we stay regulated and are able to show up as the adult with access to all that logical thinking we have in our prefrontal cortex in this scenario. Now, a lot of people are going to suggest deep breathing, going for a run, and going dancing. Those work. Everyone is different. For me, I need to instill safety in the moment a lot of times, and I use affirmations, sentences, thoughts. They're all really the same thing to create that safety for myself. So I'm going to give you some of those so you have them. My favorite things to tell myself when I feel dysregulated, I like to put my hand on my heart and close my eyes and just say, I'm safe. And then I open my eyes and look around, I'm safe. This isn't about me. Everyone is allowed their own thoughts and feelings. The worst that will happen is XYZ. So the worst that'll happen is we'll be late. He'll miss the game. Those kind of things. My brain has all the thoughts today. This is just a thought I'm thinking. Is that a fact or a judgment? Not all my thoughts are true. I'm just feeling unsafe right now. So I hope some of these will work for you. If not, let me know and I can give you some more ideas. And always remember that I am here to support you in transitioning with your kids as they move into those tween and teen years. Thanks. Bye.